The story is set in England at the end of the 18th century and tells of the lives of two Dashwood sisters, Elinor and Marianne, who faced the harsh realities of their time. After the death of their father, Mr. Dashwood, the family finds itself in a difficult financial situation. By law, all the property goes to his son from his first marriage, John, who promises to take care of his stepmother and sisters, but soon succumbs to the influence of his selfish wife Fanny and practically deprives them of support. The widow Mrs. Dashwood, along with her three daughters Elinor, Marianne and Margaret, are forced to leave the family estate Norland and move to a modest house in the southwest of England, which they kindly provided by a distant relative of Sir John Middleton. Elinor, the eldest of the sisters, has always been the more sensible and reserved of the two. She realizes that now they will have to rely on a small inheritance, and tries not to show her worries. Marianne, on the other hand, is the epitome of sensitivity. She is romantic and passionate about literature and music. The sisters are very different in character, and this becomes evident in their approach to love and life. Elinor tries to follow common sense and behave prudently, while Marianne gives in to her emotions and searches for the perfect love. When Edward Ferrars, Fanny's brother, enters their lives, he quickly takes a liking to Elinor. Edward is a man of modesty and kindness, quite unlike his sister. He and Elinor develop affectionate feelings, but they are both very cautious and secretive in their manifestations. However, when Fanny notices Elinor and Edward's rapprochement, she immediately puts obstacles in their way. She realizes that Edward's marriage to Elinor would be unacceptable for their family, for he must marry a wealthier woman. Edward is forced to leave, leaving Elinor heartbroken, but she hides her pain, preferring not to show her emotions even to her family. When the Dashwoods move into a house on Sir John's estate, they are greeted with warmth and welcome. Mrs. Jennings, the mother of Sir John's wife, is very outgoing and immediately takes an interest in the sisters' personal lives. She starts talking about how the sisters should find suitable husbands, and especially begins teasing Marianne, implying that she should marry soon. Soon Colonel Brandon, a friend of Sir John's, appears on the scene, a man of respected reputation and with a mysterious history. Brandon is immediately attracted to Marianne despite the age difference. He is reserved and attentive to her feelings, but Marianne, enchanted by her youth and romantic ideals, does not take him seriously. For her, the colonel seems too old and boring. She dreams of true passion and refuses to even consider the possibility of being with a man like him. A real storm for Marianne's feelings becomes an acquaintance with John Willoughby. This young man literally burst into her life when he saved her from falling during a walk in the rain. Willoughby is charmingly gallant and attractive, the embodiment of all of Marianne's romantic ideals. He reads her poetry, admires her musical talents, and soon there is a mutual attraction between them. Their romance becomes a topic of discussion in the neighborhood, and everyone expects that he is about to propose to her. Suddenly, however, Willoughby leaves the estate for London without explaining the reason for his departure or leaving any promises. Marianne is shocked and devastated. She cannot understand why he would do such a thing and gives herself over to his misery. Mrs. Jennings, noticing Marianne's suffering, invites her and Elinor to spend time in London, hoping that a change of scenery will bring relief. In London they meet Willoughby at one of the balls, but he is completely cold and indifferent to Marianne. Moreover, it soon becomes known that he is engaged to another woman, a rich heiress, and did it solely for money. For Marianne it was a terrible blow. She feels betrayed and humiliated. Her romantic illusions are shattered and she sinks into deep despair. Against this background, it becomes known that Edward Ferrars was long engaged to Lucy Still, a woman of the lower class to whom he was betrothed as a young man. Although his feelings for Elinor are sincere, Edward cannot break his word, despite the fact that his family strongly opposes the marriage and disinherits him. Elinor has a deep inner struggle when she learns of this, but as always she keeps her composure and does not show her true emotions. Colonel Brandon shows himself as a man of honor and kindness. He supports the Dashwood sisters in difficult moments and tries to take care of Marianne despite her indifference to him. When Marianne falls into a severe illness after a bad cold, Brandon drops all his affairs and rushes to her aid. He brings a doctor and spends days and nights at her bedside praying for her recovery. Marianne finally begins to see his true qualities and realizes that he was there for her during the most difficult moments of her life, unlike Willoughby, who turned out to be only an illusion of a romantic hero. As Marianne recovers, she changes. Now she realizes that true love is not always expressed in passionate emotions and romantic impulses. She begins to appreciate Colonel Brandon for his kindness, patience, and loyalty, and gradually their relationship begins to develop on a new level. Marianne learns to look at the world with more mature eyes, realizing that reason and feelings must be in balance, and that true happiness lies not in instant emotions but in deep and sincere affection. Edward, meanwhile, also gets an opportunity to find his happiness. His fiancée Lucy unexpectedly marries his brother Robert, freeing Edward from his obligations to her. When Edward learns of this, he immediately rushes to Elinor, confessing his feelings to her and offering her his hand in marriage. Elinor can finally allow herself to express the emotions she has been holding in for so long. Their love, which developed gradually and is based on mutual respect and understanding, finds its fulfillment in marriage. The movie ends with both sisters finding their happiness each in their own way. Elinor and Edward live together in a cozy house where they can enjoy a quiet family life. Marianne marries Colonel Brandon, and although her feelings for him are different from those she had for Willoughby, they are much deeper and more stable. The story of the Dashwood sisters becomes an illustration of how important it is to find a balance between reason and feelings in life and love.